Hello everyone, this is Stephanie. Welcome to another video. So we're continuing on with the V-bling jewelry or interlace jewelry, kind of a combination of both. So in case you haven't been following any of this, we did this this V-bling necklace, and then I did a pendant which I turned into an earring, and we did this bracelet. This is called the Interlace bracelet. So it's all using this same weave, and I wanted to complete the set for you, so we're going to do this earring today. And there were a couple things before we start that I wanted just to mention to you, because I did get some comments about the amount of bicones that this necklace and the bracelet uses, and it does use a lot of bicones. So there were some comments and questions, can we use other beads? And I really didn't think anything fit as well as the bicones. However, some lovely beaders on the Facebook page, and thank you so much guys for doing this, for trying out some other beads, and we found some beads that work, or they did, that I'm thrilled about. So first, 3mm pearls. Gorgeous. Now, I tried 3mm pearls, but you know, I didn't think it was going to work. But the funny thing about this weave is that the bigger it gets, the more it straightens out, even with the bicones. So don't give up if you start with a different bead. Make a piece that's maybe 4 inches, and you know, and see that it really does look gorgeous. And there is a beader who made this had posted it on the group page, and it's the necklace is gorgeous. Gorgeous. Okay, so 3mm pearls. And then we did, another beader did the 2mm fire polish. And I didn't think that was going to work either until I got enough made that it kind of all straightens out. It's really kind of an interesting little weave. So go for the 2mm fire polish. I mean, it's so pretty. I love it in black. Gorgeous. So there we go. 3mm pearls, 2mm fire polish. And just recently I got a message on Facebook. Somebody used, a beader used 8/0 seed beads. Okay, 11/0 seed beads, 8/0 seed beads. Something that we probably all have in our stash. And this is going to make a gorgeous ring. I am going to do this ring. Just the band. I've gotten a lot of requests, and I've been trying to get to it. It's simple, but it's taken me forever. About this terrible cold, but I just, we will get to it. All right, so 8/0 seed beads. Cool. How's that for something that you probably have in your stash, and you don't even have to go out and buy anything, and you could use some really pretty sparkly seed beads. So there you go. You have 3 different beads you can use besides the bicones. So go for it. Don't let it stop you if you love it. You know, there's no reason you shouldn't do it. All right. So let me move some of this out of the way. I will put links to the bracelet, the pendant, and the necklace under the video. So in case you haven't done, you know, in case you want to do it, you'll have a link to it. So here they are in green, and this is a Swarovski fancy stone, and here they are in amethyst. Loving the amethyst, and the green. They're so pretty, right? So we've just bezeled this stone, and this bezel is the same bezel as the pendant. So if you want to just go to the pendant video, I think it's called Bezel Your Bling, and just follow the instructions for the pendant, go ahead and then come on back to do this if you don't want to, you know, stay for the beginning of it. All right, so, and then we did a little Rivoli here. So this is a 10mm Rivoli, the green one, and this is from Potomac Bead Company, and it's they sent me these. Thanks, guys. And here they are, really pretty. I think they make them. I think they're exclusive to them. They have their own. I guess they manufacture them. And this one is a 10.5mm Rivoli on top, and it's a Swarovski. So there's a little difference in size. So here, I'll just take 2, put them. But it doesn't, I mean, it's so tiny that it doesn't matter. So don't worry if you get this one or the 10.5, the bead count is not going to change. Okay, so either one will do. They're a really pretty color. This, in case you want this color from Potomac Bead Company, it's olive metallic ice. I like that kind of icy color on it. And I like the light with the moss green. Okay, so I will put the colors to the moss green and the amethyst in the description box. But today we're going to work on this one. So we're going silver. This is Siam stone. Look at that color. God, so gorgeous. I'm loving that. And this is a black 10.5 millimeter Rivoli, and I have a little black bicone there in the connector. So this is what it looks like. All right, and I did this one because I thought it would look great with this and a little pop of red. Loving. Okay, so let's get a materials list going for this. So here, I'll pull these aside for now. All right, so you're going to need your 18 by 13 millimeter fancy stone. Here it is. It's a Siam. It's such a pretty, it's so gorgeous, the color. You're going to need, you need 2 of those, but I don't have 2, so I'll just put this here. You need your 10.5 Rivoli, and that's jet. You're going to need some dark nickel silver Delica beads, and here I'm using, here are these, the dark nickel silver. Okay. Now on this one, I used the hex Delica beads that were used on the pendant. You can use those too. I just didn't have any hex, so I'm just using the regular. Any 11.0 Delica will work with that. So, you know, but I'm using the dark nickel silver regular Delica bead. You're going to need some 15.0 seed beads, and these are, let me see the name, Opaque Gunmetal Luster. Okay, so these are not hematite. I'll show you the difference between the two. Sometimes, you know, these little things, to me, they can make a difference. So you see the difference between the hematite and the opaque gunmetal luster? It's a little different. You can use this. I mean, the hematite would look just as nice, but I'm going to use this one just to soften it up a teeny bit. All right. And if you want, which I did, you can use some of these, and I love to, you know, share with you beads that I'm you know, they're not new beads, but they're new to, you know, there's something I haven't used. So these are Charlottes, and this is a little 13.0, and I know when I pull it out, they're going to come all over, but they sell them in half hanks and hanks, and it's a little 13.0, and it's a Czech bead, and it's really great for bezeling, because if you have a little, you know, if you need a little smaller bead, and it is a little smaller than the 15.0, even though the number would suggest that it isn't, it is a little smaller. It's a Czech bead. So, and what it has on it, which, you know, these little things, I love all these little things, like little, that you don't even see unless you look really close. It has a little facet. I'm going to pull all the way in so you see the facet. Okay, now that's close. So, let me make sure we're clearing up here. So do you see where that light is hitting that? There's one facet on this little tiny seed bead. One little facet. See it? Where the light's hitting it? And you don't see that when you're wearing it because it's teeny, but you get a little pinpoint of light when the light hits it just, see that? Just so. So anyway, let's pull this back out again. I'm going to use some of those as my center of my bezel. So I did it on here. So I did the 11.0 Delicas, and then I used I used the Charlottes, and I don't know, it gives it kind of an interesting look. It's not really frilly, it's more, I don't know, it almost looks like industrial a little bit. I don't know, it just does to me. It's, you know, I know, and I used them around here. So you see the light hitting the little facet on there? I don't know, I see it. All right, so if you want to play with those, then put some of those out. If you want to, yeah, but you can just use 15.0. So here are my seed beads right here that I'm going to use. You're going to need a few 11.0, just regular seed beads, and these are going to be for the connectors. And also on the green earring, I bezeled the entire 10 millimeter Rivoli with the 11.0 regular seed beads. I know it's a big bead to put on such a teeny little Rivoli, but I kind of like the way it looked. It kind of, you know, I kind of get an interesting sort of granulated look, so I like that. And to me, it kept the like sort of the presence of the bottom, this big bottom stone, having the 11.0s at the top. So it was just a design decision. On the amethyst, I used the Delicas, the hex cut Delicas, and then some Charlottes or 15-0s. So either way, you know, the bead count is the same either way. So that's the difference in the look. Okay. All right. So we have those. You're going to need a pair of ear hooks. So I'll put one out because I have one right there. You're going to need a size 11 or 12 beading needle. And some 6-pound Fireline. If you're playing with the Charlottes, then you'll probably need a 12 because it, you know, the 11, the Charlottes are, the hole's a little smaller. It doesn't usually fit through the eye of the 11 of the 11-0. So the eye is a little bit bigger, so it doesn't fit as well. So have a 12 nearby. Little stop bead. Okay, let's see. Let me just check my list. Okay, we're good, we're good. Okay, so I think we're good. Anything I forgot or I think of, you know, I always put in the description box below. Always check there because, you know, and if, there might be something fun there. Okay, all right, so why don't you gather up your goodies and we'll get started making this pair of interlace earrings. See you in a minute. So we're back, and I've cut about 30 inches of Fireline. Probably can do a teeny bit less. I'm trying to, you know, give you the least amount of thread possible so that you don't have thread all over the place. I put a stop bead on the center, so I have half of my thread coming out of one side of the stop bead, half my thread coming out of the other. String on 40 of your 11-0 Delicas. Okay, so, and count twice, because sometimes you just skip one or you don't put enough on, and you want to make sure that you have 40 on here for it to cover the stone and for it to work. All right? Goes into a circle. Just like that. And just come up a couple of beads. Just like that. So you have a circle here. So then we're going to do a little peyote. Pick up a Delica. So you're coming out of, you know, one of the Delicas before we do that. It doesn't really matter which one. Just, that's the beginning. So you're coming out of here. Pick up a Delica. I think I might have to pull in for this. Okay. Pick up a Delica. Skip the next Delica and go through the next Delica. So just do a little peyote. You want to give it a little pull, for those of you who are beginners, and you want to make sure that that bead sits on top of the previous bead. See that? Okay. Pick up a Delica. Whoops. Pick up a Delica. Skip the next one. Go through the next one. Just like that. Okay. And you're just going to do that all the way around. You're going to pick up a Delica. You're going to skip the next one and go through the next one. Okay, so you're just picking up, you're skipping, going through the next one. Skip one, go through the next one. Do that all the way around until you get to a couple of beads before your first bead, which is this bead right here. So a couple of beads before, and then I'll step up with you. All right, so I'll see you in a minute. Okay, so we're a couple of beads before the end. So pick up a Delica. You're coming out of this bead right here. Skip this one right there. You're going to go up. This one, and the one on the diagonal, just like that. See that? So you're just skipping the next bead like you normally would, going through the next one plus the one on the diagonal. So it's putting your thread up at the top so you can add some more beads. Okay, just like that. It's a little wonky right now, but that's okay. All right, so now you want to go to your 15-0s. So pick up a 15-0. Go through every sticking out Delica. Like that. And go all the way around. And don't worry about pulling it too tight now. Just give it a little pull. You know, it's okay if it doesn't curve a ton, but it's starting to curve on its own. See, so I'm just gently pulling it. I'm not pulling it so hard that it's going to get all kinked up, because we're gonna gently pull it as we go along. All right, so come all the way around again to the last couple of beads before you stepped up, before this one, and we'll step up together again. All right, see you in a minute. Okay, so I've come down to a couple of beads before the end, and we'll do these together. So here, it's starting to curve, so I put it on my finger so you can really see where we're working here. So I'm coming out of this Delica. I'm going to go through this Delica, pick up another one. Now I'm going to step up. So I'm coming out of here. I'm going to skip this Delica right there. I'm going to go through this Delica right there, and the little 15-0 that's on the diagonal. So I'll leave that for a few seconds. Okay. All right. And so when I pull that through, see how I've kind of curved a bit, and I'm stepping up for the next row. So then do that again with your 15-0s or your Charlottes, whichever one you're using, and then meet me back here a couple of beads before, and we'll finish this side. Okay, see you in a minute. Okay, so we're coming down to the end of the second round of 15-0s, and I'm using the Charlottes here. So let's just end this together. So we're just, just coming through to the end. We're going to get to where we're going to step up, and maybe I'll hold it like this so you can see where I'm going to step up. So I'll pick up your last bead, and you're coming out of this 15-0. Go through the 15-0 and then the Charlotte that's right there. See that? And then give that a pull, and you're in. So you see how it's even, you can even kind of play with it a little bit to sort of make it into an oval shape. All right, so I'm just going to leave this right now. I want to hold on to these threads. You want to have at least a 6 or 8, about an 8-inch tail, because we're going to use these threads to connect the two stones together. So I don't really want to sew it in right now, so don't worry about it. If it's just pull it, it should stay pretty tight. All right, so finish that. So come up there and then get your 15-0s ready, and we'll start the other side. Okay, see you in a minute. Okay, so we're back, and here's the back. Now, you could put another row of or round of the 15-0s on in the back. I'm going to keep it as narrow as possible, just because I like it that way. It's a little harder to handle, but I like it that way. All right, so we're coming around to the front of it now, and here's the thread that we had the stop bead on, the other end of the thread. So just a little heads up on a stop bead. Often people, a beader will take the stop bead and just pull it off that way along the thread. And if you want a piece to last, you don't want to scrape that thread. So just a little tip, just pick up the loop. I'm using a little pin. Pick up the loop from the stop bead there, and then just take the extra few seconds to do this, rather than just scraping that bead along the thread. Just pull it out like that. I already have a needle attached to mine, but and there you go. So then you haven't compromised the thread at all, because scraping it with a bead will just take the coating off, and it makes it soft, and it's not going to be as strong. So it's worth doing that. All right, so we've taken the stop bead off, and I'm just going to pull right now, just to get this a little bit more oval. All right, just like that. So that's what it should look like. So play with it until it looks like that, and then let's check out the stone in here. All right, so it's going in, but it's not going to stay right now. So I'm going to just give it a little pull, and then I'm gonna put the stone in it. I'm going to hold the stone there, and it will just pop right out if you let go. But I do find, and then I'm going to start putting on my 15-0s. So I noticed that on this first round of the 15-0s, it takes till about bead 16 for it to, or 15 for the bezel to tighten enough to where it's not going to fall out. So don't worry about it. It will happen. So just keep coming around just like that, just like we did on the other side, and put on your 15-0s, and then do a step up and do the next row, and then meet me here, and we'll finish off the this stone. All right, see you in a few. Okay, we're back, and so I finished the front, and I still have my threads. I'm sorry here. I just wanted to come in really close, because I want us to move our thread to to the center here, because when we do the attachment, we're going to be working with these center Delica beads. And I don't know, let's see, can you see those? It's so hard for me to tell on camera when I'm looking through my little screen here. But just, so if you look at the Delica beads here, we've got 2, then 1, 2, 1. We're just working with these in the middle. So I just want you to move your thread over there to prepare for when we do that. So you're coming out of a 15-0. Just go on the diagonal, just like that. You actually can go through all 3 of them. Pull that through. So now that you're in the center, for you when you're making this, I'm not going to do it right now, but reinforce everything here. So you can go all the way around, which I think is a really good idea. You should have enough thread at the end of your piece to do this. So just go on the diagonal and reinforce. Just go through these 2. Go through these 2. Just stay in that center, and it's a really good idea to reinforce it, and because you want it nice and tight. You want the and you can move it a teeny bit. It's like this, a teeny bit of wiggle room, not much. So right there. So come around and reinforce, and you can reverse direction. So if you want to reverse direction, so let's say we're coming out of this one. So let's say you've come all the way around to reinforce, which is a really good idea. So you're coming through this one. So when you reverse direction, see the 2 that are next to each other? So we're coming out of this one. Just come back through this one. What it does, it makes a loop, and it goes right through that other bead, and then you can start reinforcing down this side. It's like that, okay? So do that. Get it nice and strong, and then meet me back here, and we're going to start on the little Rivoli. All right, see you in a few. Okay, we're back, and we're getting to the little Rivoli. So put about 20 inches of Fireline on, maybe even 2 feet. Probably don't need that much, but I always err on the side of too much. So put your stop bead on in the middle again. 1 thread coming out of one side, 1 thread coming out of the other. Put on 26 of your Delicas. Make it into a circle. Coming up a few beads. Okay, just like that. And you're going to do the exact same thing that we did for the fancy stone. So you're just going to peyote with your Delicas, 1 round, and then you're going to do 2 rounds of your 15-0s. You're going to reverse it, do 2 rounds of your 15-0s. I don't think you need me to do it with you because we just did that whole stone. You're doing the exact same bezel, only just with less beads, and then meet me back here when you're done, and we'll connect these 2. All right, see you in a few minutes. Okay, we're back, and a couple of things, just for you beginners, because I really want you to succeed at this. So when I'm working on it and I see something that might be a challenge, I like to bring it to your attention. So this bezeled fine, except I did the second side. The first side was fine, and then the stone wouldn't go in, and it was like wonky, and it was sticking out, and so I just did it anyway, and I thought, I can't put this up if I can't figure out why the stone isn't sitting in here. Now granted, we are using these big beads to bezel it, but still you should be able to do it. Well, I looked back on my other side, on the original side where I did the the back, and I missed a bead, and I missed a Delica, and so instead of going through with a bead, I just went through with thread, and it just racked the whole thing out. So if you're finding that it's, granted, it's a little bit tricky to getting the stone in, you have to hold it and such, but if you've got it in, and you've gotten it in, and you've gone around and around, and it's not working, go back and check your beads. I mean, sometimes you look at it and you don't see that maybe you missed something. So I looked in my magnifying light, which I really need for these little things, and I can't use it when I'm on when I'm filming. So I will, so that could happen. So just giving you a little heads up on that. All right. Okay. So let's get incredibly close. So we're going to put the little loop on here first thing on the Rivoli. So 2 11-0 seed beads and 3 15 O's. Oh, and I'm just going to go off on a tangent one more second. So I was thinking about the Charlottes because I use Charlottes, and I thought, well, maybe it's the Charlottes. Maybe the Charlottes are causing some issue. So I went and I checked Charlotte sizes, and I know I said that Charlottes were a little smaller than the 15O seed bead, and I stand by that, even though I couldn't find anybody else that would say that. I didn't look that long, but here you go. Here's the Charlotte, the little silver one, and the little black one is the 15O. So I still think the Charlotte, I don't think they're interchangeable. Just saying. Okay, in case anybody said I'm wrong. That's how I see it anyway. All right, so let's get back to this. So we're coming out of the front of the bezel, and you just want to move your thread. So let's go. We want to get it to the center Delicas, so we'll go through that one. And that one. And we're right here in the center now, okay? So just these Delicas right down the center. Those are the ones we're working with, all right? So what you can do at this point is you can continue to, you know, just go on the diagonal, down the center, on the diagonal, down the center, just to reinforce. I like when you reinforce the bezel here. So see, oops, how I'm reinforcing here. All right, so I'm coming out of a center Delica right there. So we're just going to work with the one I'm coming out of, which is this one and this one. And we're going to put the little loop. We're going to make our little loop right there. So I hope you can see that. I'll pull in super tight just so you can see those two. See those two right there? Those are the two we're going to work with. All right, so let me pull out a little bit. All right. So pick up one 11O, 3 15Os, and one 11O. So this is what you have on your needle, just like that. All right, and you're coming out of this side of the Delica right there. Hop over to the other side of that second Delica that we're working with. It's down the middle, just like that. Let me just position my needle for you. So you're just coming around. Okay, so you see you're coming out of here, you're coming around to this one and coming through that side, and that's how it's going on, all right? Okay. So now you have it on. So now you want to get back to here to reinforce the loop. So come through this one on the diagonal, and these are the beads that we're going to come through the whole time, and then the one that's under the loop right there where your 11O is coming out of. And then come back up the 11O and one 15O. Skip the next 15O, go down the 15O and the 11O, just like that. You're skipping that one in the middle. It's just going to make that bead pop up in a minute. Come through the Delica again. So these 3 beads here, 1, 2, 3, are the beads we're using for the loop to attach everything. So go through those 2 again. Go through this one again. You can even take your needle and sort of pop that center bead up a little bit. It's just sort of, see what happens? It gives it a little cute little point. Okay, go through the 11O, 15O, skip the 15O, come back down again, the other side, come through again. So here we've done it twice. So if you can do it 3 times, do it 3 times. It makes, so give it a nice pull. And you can actually pop these little 11Os down just like that so they stay flat. Okay, so there, whoops. So there you go. And then come around. So we're coming out of here. Just come around and do your reinforcement again around your bezel a little bit, just to tighten it down like that. And there you have it. Okay, so you have your first part. I'm going to come around, I'm going to reverse direction because I think I'm going to keep this earring. Most of the time I take them apart so I can use the beads. So here I am, I'm reversing direction. But sometimes if I particularly like something that I'm doing, I mean I always like, you know, I wouldn't make it if I didn't like it, but I happen to like the black and red a lot. I'm going to pull out a teeny bit. Alright, so then take your handy dandy thread burner if you have one, which is to me like the best thing ever. that off. Okay, and now we're going to get to, so you can actually, on this side, you can also sew in your threads. So, you know, we're just doing the other side of the bezel, so come through, again, just like we've been doing, and reinforce around until you're happy with how strong that is. And you'll really be happy you did this, that you've taken the time to do this, because it'll make a much stronger earring. And if you're, you know, if you're making bezels and you're, you know, if you're selling at craft fairs and such, you don't want somebody to, you know, you don't want to give them your card and you want them to come back and say, gee, this broke. You want to make sure that when you hand it off, you're not going to get it back. All right, so here you go. Perfect. All right, so let's grab your fancy stone. Grab your bicone and a few seed beads and some 15-0s. Meet me back here. Oops, meet me back here, and we'll get the embellishment on here and attach them. Okay, see you in a few. Okay, we're back, and we're going to sew do the little connector here, just like this part right here. So you have the two threads, so sew your back thread in. I already did that, and you can keep your the front thread to make the connector. The reason I'm doing a separate thread is because I want you to be able to see where I'm putting my needle, so I put a bright green bead at the end so you can, you know, you have sort of a vantage point. So you really want to put this sort of in the center, and you want to work with 2 beads in the center, just like that. Okay, so let me pull in really close so you can see that. So I'm going to work with these 2. Now you can just about see where the center is, and you want to work with those 2. I don't know, my camera seems to be blurring, so I'm sorry. I'm going to just pull it out a little bit. So this one and this one. So you see this is kind of the center where this 15-0 is here, and then you have this bead on the side and this bead on the side. We're just working with these 2 beads, 2 Delica beads. And if I pull my thread through, you can see, you see those 4 beads right here? 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm coming through this one and through this one, okay? Just like that. Okay, or I'm just, these are the 2 that I want to work with right here. So I don't want to go through both. I just wanted to show you that these 2 are the beads I'm working with. So I'm just going to come, I want to start with 1 bead. Okay, so you see so just for reference sake. So we're coming out of that 1 bead of those 2 that we're going to work with, this one and this one. All right, so then pick up 3 11-0s. Okay, and then just come back around that same bead, just like that. Okay, let me pull my tail out of the way. Okay, so you're just coming around that same bead. And that's going to put on this little 3-bead unit. Advance through the next bead, just like that. That's that second one we're going to go through, okay? And you can play with this a little bit. This is a little forgiving, okay? And then you want to come back through that one, just like that. See? I hope you can see that. I'll pull in real tight so you can see that. Okay, so here. See, there's that first unit. Then I'm going to pull this one on. And then that's going to sit, the 2 units, right next to each other. And they're real close, which is fine. All right, just like that. Okay. So then, I'm just going to come up through this bead. And this bead. Oops. Let me straighten that out a little bit. Okay, that's better. Through this bead. And you want to come out of the tip seed bead of that unit right there. Just hold it, pull. See how it kind of sits in place? Just like that. Pick up your 3mm bicone. Come through the next one. Just like that. All right? Now what we can do with this before we connect the other piece is let's just reinforce it. So just go through your same thread path. So that one, this one, that's right under the 3-bead unit. Okay, so just follow your thread path that you just used. So we're going to go through that one. Okay, and then it's going to tighten it up a bit. Come through here. You want to make sure that those 2 beads are in the front. You don't want them popping to the back. Okay, here. and then go through the bicone and that seed bead right there. Hold it and give it a little pull, and just make sure your beads are sitting nicely, okay? Just like that. Perfect. All right, yours will be attached. I have mine, you know, the separate thread. I mean, you could put on a separate thread. I just did it for you to, you know, for reference purposes. All right, so you want to pick up an 11/0. All right, and then you want to find the center bead, the center Delica, on your Rivolis, and I'm just making sure I'm doing the right side. Let's see. Okay, so I think we'll use this side. All right, so here's where you put your, here's the center bead right here. You can see where you put your loop on. So then come down and find the Delica that's in the center that corresponds with that top bead there. So you can just see, you can really see that where you're going to put that on there, just like that. So pick up a 11/0, string that on. I'm trying to get my end of my thread off. I'm going to do this on the mat for you. Okay, just like that. Pick up another 11/0, just like that. Okay, so that's, you have those two 11/0s on your thread, and then come right through seed bead, bicone, seed bead, seed bead, bicone, seed bead, just like that. And that's just going to pull them together. Yay! Okay, then reinforce. Go through your thread path again, the 11/0, the Delica, the 11/0, and it will tighten up. Then seed bead, bicone, seed bead, pull, and do that a couple more times, and then meet me back here just to tighten it up. It's a door knocker, so it's got some movement, which is nice. So so reinforce that a little bit. Meet me back here. We'll put the hook on and we'll look at our earrings. Okay, see you in a minute. Okay, we're back, and I'm not going to sew in my threads because I want to fix this earring a little bit because I want to keep it. So here are earrings. Here I have a little sterling silver ear wire. So I'm just going to open the loop. So hold it like so. Oops. Actually, these loops open on the bottom, which is kind of cool, or in the back. So I'm just going to come here, you. Just going to open that up. There we go. I'm going to put that on, just like that. Close it up. Like so. Make sure it closes good. All right, and there you have it. Here are your earrings. Okay, cool. Here are the green. I'll just put a few of them out. All right. It's a little bit, it looks super simple, but there's a little bit of, you know, challenge involved here. Lots of earrings going on here. It's a little bit of challenge going on here, but it's still, if you love the earrings, it's really worth doing, and you can really learn how to, you know, learn bezeling a little bit, and you're going to have some, you know, you're gonna learn how to use all these different beads, which is great. All right, so here you go. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you make these earrings and post them on Facebook. I'm sorry it took me a while to get them up. I had a very bad cold, and I kept sneezing. It was gross, you know. It was I couldn't put them up. I couldn't record anything, but I'm feeling better, and I'm back in form. So, thank you again for joining me, and I'll see you on the next video. Oh, I have one more thing coming up. I know, I never stop. This, I'm gonna try to get this ring up, coming up, in the next, you know, several days. I want to get this up. And one other thing, just a heads up for the future, I got a request for a awareness ribbon, and so I'm working on this one, and I'm going to do several. I'll do several, and I used odd count peyote with this, so it'd be kind of cool to learn how to do, if you haven't done it before, odd count peyote. It really makes a really nice fabric and opens the door to all kinds of interesting things when you can do odd count. So this will be coming up too. So I'll try to get these up as soon as possible. All right, terrific. Have a great rest of your weekend, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Subscribe if you like my channel. Bye-bye.